Welcome back, everyone. We're about to take a deep dive into the future of Formula One.
Oh, this is going to be good.
It is. And specifically, what's in store for Fernando Alonso and Aston Martin.
Yeah, they had kind of a rough 2024 season.
Right. A bit of a disappointment, but they're aiming for a big comeback.
Big comeback.
In 2025. And they're making some bold moves to get there.
I've heard about this, yeah.
We're talking about adding not one, not two.
Oh, come on.
But three big names in F1 design.
Okay, you have my attention.
Bob Bell, Enrico Cardile,
Wow.
and Adrian Newey.
Whoa, hold on. All working on the same car.
All on Alonso's 2025 car. In some capacity, at least.
Right, now I need details.
Well, a recent article from Octiario, a Spanish sports news site, kind of spilled the beans.
Interesting.
So the big question is, what does this engineering dream team?
Dream team, huh?
Yeah, what does it really mean for Alonso's future and Aston Martin's chances in the coming seasons? What do you think?
Well, it's not just about the names, although obviously those are impressive, to say the least.
For sure.
It's really how Aston Martin is approaching this whole rebuilding phase.
Yeah.
Like, they're not just making adjustments.
They're going all in.
They're going for a complete overhaul, a total transformation.
Exactly. Like they're saying, we're not here to just participate. We're here to win.
I like that attitude.
And they're bringing in the big guns to do it.
Makes sense.
So first, we got to talk about the catalyst for all this change, the departure of Dan Fallows.
Oh, right, their technical director.
See, exactly.
So what happened there?
Well, that opened the door for, at least temporarily, a familiar face, a bit of a legend, Bob Bell.
No way, he's back.
Back in the game.
Wow, he was instrumental in those championship wins Alonso had with Renault.
Yep, back in 2005 and 2006.
That's a long time ago.
It is. And bringing him back, this isn't just a quick fix.
Definitely not.
This is strategic, I think.
What do you think they're hoping to achieve with that?
Recapturing that winning formula, you know?
That chemistry.
That chemistry, that connection between a driver and their engineer.
Ah, I see, like that magic they had back then.
Exactly. But Bell's just the first piece of the puzzle.
Okay, there's more.
Oh, yeah. We also have Enrico Cardile joining Aston Martin in 2025.
Cardile.
Coming from Ferrari, pretty impressive background.
Okay, tell me more about him. What stands out?
Well, he was heavily involved in Ferrari's power unit development.
Oh, the engines.
The engines. And, you know, those have been a major factor in Ferrari's recent resurgence.
True.
So how do you think he could impact Aston Martin?
I mean, Ferrari's engines have been really strong lately.
Really strong.
And he's going to be focusing on refining that 2025 car.
Right.
Before handing things over to...
Newey.
It's like a relay race.
The relay race, yeah.
Each engineer playing their part at the right time.
I love that analogy.
Okay.
Okay, so we have Bell laying the groundwork, Cardile fine-tuning the engine, and then Dura, enter Adrian Newey.
Now we're talking.
For those maybe not super familiar with Formula One.
Yeah. Could you give us a quick rundown of who Newey is?
So Adrian Newey, he's like, without exaggeration,
Okay.
a design genius.
Totally.
The mind behind countless championship-winning cars.
Like what?
Think Williams, McLaren, and Red Bull's dominance with Vettel.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Heavily influenced by Newey's designs.
So he's not just any engineer.
Yeah, not at all.
What is it about his design approach that sets him apart, you know? What's his secret sauce?
It's hard to describe, but he just has this...
Like a sixth sense.
Yeah, this intuitive grasp of aerodynamics.
Hmm.
You see it in how he shapes the cars to manipulate the airflow.
I see.
He's also a master of technical innovation, always pushing the boundaries.
Always pushing.
But maybe the most crucial element...
Look at that.
He can take his vision and make it reality.
Oh, wow.
Working with his team, building cars that are not only incredibly fast...
Right.
But also reliable.
That's key. Right?
Absolutely. Because what good is a super fast car if it can't finish the race? Exactly. So initially, Newey was brought on as a technical advisor. But now we're hearing he'll be much more hands-on, much more involved in the 2025 car development.
Interesting.
Why the change? What do you think?
I don't know. I suspect.
What?
Maybe Newey's passion for design just couldn't be held back.
Do you think so?
He sees the potential in Aston Martin. The ambition of Lawrence Stroll.
Yeah.
Maybe even the chance to work with Alonso.
Could be.
I think it's reignited his competitive spirit, you know. What are your thoughts on this pairing, though?
The veteran driver and the master designer.
Yeah, what a duo.
I can only imagine the sparks that'll fly.
Oh, yeah.
Newey, so meticulous and precise.
Right.
Alonso, fiery, competitive, always pushing the limits.
It's got to be interesting.
It's an interesting dynamic, that's for sure. But let's be real, this is a huge gamble for Aston Martin.
Absolutely.
They're going up against some of the most established, well-funded teams in the sport.
It's a big challenge.
What are your thoughts on the challenges they face? And what's going to determine if this gamble pays off?
One of the biggest hurdles is going to be integrating all these new elements, right?
So many new pieces.
We got a new technical director in Bell, new engine expert in CARDILE, design genius in NEWEY.
That's a lot of change.
Getting them all on the same page, collaborating effectively.
Not easy.
Not easy at all, especially with such strong personalities.
It's true. And don't forget the new regulations for 2025.
Oh, right.
Formula One's always evolving.
Always.
Staying ahead of the curve is essential.
For sure.
They're going to need to build a car that's not only fast, but also adaptable to these new rules.
Yeah, that's a lot to handle.
Even with this dream team in place.
Absolutely. They're going to need to hit the ground running from day one.
No doubt.
And on top of that, reliability is key.
You can't win if you don't finish.
Exactly. You can have the fastest car, but if it's always breaking down...
No championships.
No championships.
And we can't ignore the human factor either.
Of course.
Alonso's experience, his racecraft, vital.
Absolutely.
But he's not getting any younger.
True.
Can he maintain that peak performance? What do you think?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
Alonso, he's a fierce competitor.
Oh, yeah.
But time waits for no one, you know?
That's true.
Be interesting to see how he adapts.
To this new environment.
To the car, built to NEWEY specs.
Yeah, good point.
But let's shift gears a bit.
Okay.
Talk about those other big names in this engineering trio.
All right.
You mentioned Bell was instrumental in Alonso's championship wins with Renault.
Right, back in 05 and 06.
What was it about their partnership that made them so successful?
Well, if you look back at those seasons,
Yeah.
Bell just understood Alonso's driving style so well. The cars he designed for Renault, they played to Alonso's strengths.
Interesting.
Allowed him to push the limits, but without sacrificing reliability.
That's important.
Yeah, they had this really close working relationship, this mutual understanding.
Like they were on the same wavelength?
Exactly.
So gathering
They
data
knew
quickly,
what was needed to
efficiently,
squeeze
speedily.
every ounce of performance out of that car.
It's very important for us to get the data
about that
quickly
kind of
to our
bond between the
fingertips
driver
on the pit wall,
and the
processed in the right way.
Right,
That
the one
insight
talking to them
help
during the race.
by
Exactly,
making the
but in
data
this case,
intuitive,
it was
feeding
the
that information to
technical
our
director.
performance,
The
and be a
person
stronger
responsible
team.
for the whole
in a
design.
way that,
Yeah, that's it.
that no one else
And
can.
that's why building
Either
Fern
development
is so
is really well,
intriguing,
but the name of the
right?
game is super the car.
It's not just
the quicker
about
we go.
bringing in a talented engineer.
There's more than that.
It's about trying to recreate that magic, that synergy that led to those championships.
Yeah, I guess.
If you're an Alonso fan,
Yeah,
you got to be excited about these two working together again.
absolutely. But let's not forget about Enrico CARDILE,
Oh, right.
often overshadowed by NEWEY.
Big shoes to fill,
But his expertise, man, could be a game changer.
especially in the engine department.
For sure.
So let's talk CARDILE. You mentioned he was key in developing Ferrari's power units,
Yeah.
which have been dominant, really.
Oh, they've been amazing.
How could his expertise help Aston Martin close that gap, you know?
Well, engine performance is everything in Formula One.
It's not just about top speed.
It's not just about going fast in a straight line.
Right.
It's acceleration, it's overtaking, it's defending your position. Ferrari's resurgence, it's largely due to their engines.
Powerful and reliable.
Exactly.
Technology could be a huge asset.
Oh, absolutely.
Help them develop an engine that can compete
With the very best.
with the best. Yeah. It's not just about the aerodynamics and the chassis. It's
Yeah.
like the engine's the heart of the car.
Love that analogy.
And CARDILE could be the cardiologist Aston Martin needs.
He could be, for sure. And when you combine that engine expertise with NEWEY's aerodynamic brilliance,
Ooh, yeah.
you start to see the potential of this dream team.
Right? It's coming
Putting together all the pieces of this high-performance puzzle.
Right, like building the ultimate Formula One Frankenstein.
But in a good way.
In a good way, of course. Each engineer bringing their unique skill set.
It's an interesting approach.
Let's talk a bit more about NEWEY, though. We know he's a genius, but like specific design innovations
Oh, there are many.
that could give Aston Martin an edge. What are some of those?
Well, one of his trademarks is his mastery of airflow.
Airflow. Okay.
He creates cars that generate incredible downforce.
Downforce, explain that.
It's like it sucks the car to the track,
Wow.
allows it to corner faster, maintain higher speeds through turns.
That's impressive.
He pioneered using the car's exhaust gases to enhance downforce even further.
The blown diffuser.
Yeah, the blown diffuser.
I've heard of that.
Controversial, but incredibly effective.
Interesting.
And then the suspension systems he designs.
What about them?
They optimize tire grip and handling. It's incredible.
So it's not just about making the car look cool.
It's about the science.
It's about understanding the science of airflow, using every bit of the car.
To gain an advantage, exactly.
NEWEY's designs, they often push the boundaries of the regulations.
Oh, he's known for that.
Finding creative ways to interpret the rules, extract that maximum performance.
Sometimes his innovations are so radical.
Yeah.
They force the rule makers to change the rules.
Wow. He's a true innovator.
He is, always thinking outside the box.
But
let's be real.
Okay.
Even with all this talent,
yeah,
success in Formula One, it's not guaranteed.
it's a tough sport.
What do you think are the biggest risks for Aston Martin?
Well, I think the biggest risk is this dream team might not gel.
Not gel. How so?
You got 3 very strong personalities, each with their own way of working.
That's true.
If they can't collaborate effectively, share ideas, make decisions as a team.
The whole project could fall apart.
Exactly, like putting together a super group of musicians.
I like that.
You have the most talented individuals.
Right.
But if they can't play together,
The music suffers.
the music suffers, yeah. And then there's the pressure of expectation.
Oh, yeah.
With all this hype.
Anything less than a significant improvement is going to be seen as a failure.
It's a lot to live up to.
For sure. And it's not just external pressure.
Right.
There's internal pressure, too, to prove themselves, justify the investment.
The faith that Stroll has put in them.
Exactly. It's like they're carrying the hopes and dreams of a whole nation of Formula One fans.
That's a lot of weight on their shoulders.
It is. And let's not forget the competition.
Oh, right.
Red Bull's not just going to sit back and watch their dominance fade.
No way.
They'll be working tirelessly to maintain that advantage.
And Ferrari, Mercedes.
Both hungry for a championship.
So even with all this talent,
It's not going to be a walk in the park.
they're going up against the best.
The best teams in the history of Formula One.
It's going to be an uphill battle.
But that's what makes it exciting, right?
The underdog story.
Classic underdog story. Can Aston Martin upset the established order? Reclaim their place at the top?
That's the question, isn't it?
It's the kind of narrative that keeps us all glued to our screens.
That possibility of an upset.
Witnessing something truly special.
I love it.
But before we get carried away,
Right.
let's break down these challenges Aston Martin will face.
Okay, let's do it.
First and foremost, integrating all these new personnel.
Yeah, it's not just about having the talent.
You got to make sure that talent works together.
Effectively, yeah.
You've got Bell, who's been away from Formula One for a while.
True.
Cardile, coming from a very different team culture at Ferrari.
And then NEWEY.
Known for being a bit of a lone wolf. A genius who works in his own way.
Getting all those individuals to gel, buy into a shared vision.
That's going to be crucial.
It's like putting together a puzzle where the pieces don't quite fit.
I like that.
You got to find a way to make them work together, create that complete picture.
Exactly. And then there's adapting to the new regulations for 2025.
Oh, right. The new regs.
Can you give us a quick overview of those?
Yeah.
How they might impact Aston Martin?
Yeah, definitely.
So the 2025 regulations, they're designed to make Formula One more sustainable, more cost-effective,
Okay.
and to improve the racing.
Got it.
Greater emphasis on hybrid technology, more powerful electric motors, sustainable fuels.
So, big changes.
Teams are going to have to rethink their whole approach to power unit design.
So it's not just tweaking the existing engines.
This is a fundamental shift in technology.
A game changer.
It could shake up the whole pecking order.
And Aston Martin's currently using Mercedes engines, right?
They are.
With Cardile coming in,
Your regs.
is there a possibility they might develop their own power unit?
It's a possibility, a huge undertaking.
But it could be a major advantage in the long run.
It could be. It's a risky move.
But could be brilliant.
It all depends on execution.
So much riding on this.
It all comes back to teamwork, leadership.
Stroll.
Can Stroll create the right environment where these talented individuals can thrive, take risks, push boundaries?
That's the big question, isn't it?
It's not just about having a dream team on paper.
You either got to have the culture, the mentality.
A culture of excellence, a winning mentality.
Throughout the organization.
Absolutely. And that's what we'll be watching closely as the 2025 season unfolds.
For sure.
Can they do it? Can they transform from a midfield team to a championship contender?
What a story.
It's a story full of intrigue, potential, and risk.
And as a Formula One fan,
You can't ignore it.
you can't ignore it. Now, shifting gears for a moment, I'm curious about your thoughts on the broader implications of these changes.
At Aston Martin.
Yeah. What does this tell us about the current state of Formula One?
Interesting question. Well, I think it reflects a shift,
A shift.
within Formula One, this willingness to shake things up, take risks.
To achieve greatness.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not just about the big names anymore.
Not necessarily, no.
Not just Ferrari, Mercedes, Red Bull.
There's a sense the playing field is leveling somewhat. New regulations, cost cap, new investments.
Breeding opportunities.
Opportunities for teams like Aston Martin to make a real impact.
That's exciting for fans, right?
Oh, absolutely. More unpredictable races.
The possibility of a new team rising to the top.
Nobody wants to see the same teams dominating year after year.
That's true.
The beauty of Formula One is in the unpredictability.
The upsets.
The upsets, the moments when a team defies expectations.
It's like a sports movie come to life.
It really is.
The underdog team, the passionate owner, the brilliant engineers.
And the veteran driver seeking one last shot at glory.
You gotta love that narrative.
It resonates, across all sports.
For sure.
You got to give Stroll credit.
Oh, yeah.
He's not afraid to take risks, invest heavily.
He wants to make Aston Martin a champion.
He does, but it's not just about the money.
Right.
He's assembled a team of incredibly talented people.
But can he make it work?
That's the question. Can he create the right environment for them to succeed?
It's one thing to have the pieces.
It's another to put them together, maximize their potential.
That's where Stroll's leadership comes in.
Exactly. We've talked about Bell, Cardile, Newey, their brilliance.
Individually, yeah.
But their success depends on their ability to work together.
Share ideas, make decisions as a team.
That's where Stroll will be tested.
Managing those personalities, fostering collaboration.
Keeping everyone focused on that goal.
It's a tough challenge.
Many team principals have faced it.
And not all of them have succeeded.
But if Stroll can pull it off, harness the collective genius.
Aston Martin could be a force.
Imagine it, Alonso, in a Newey-designed car.
Wow.
Powered by a Cardile engine.
And overseen by Bell.
The man who knows how to get the best out of Alonso.
That's a scary thought for their rivals?
It is, but let's not forget the competition.
Right, Red Bull.
They're not going down without a fight.
They have the winning formula.
Dominant car, young, hungry driver in Verstappen.
They're the benchmark.
No doubt, the team to beat. But Ferrari's made strides.
They have?
Their engine's arguably the best, and Leclerc, Sainz Jr.
Talented drivers.
Very talented. And then there's Mercedes.
Can't count them out.
They might be down, but they're not out. They'll be back.
2025 could be a four-way battle.
It could be. Red Bull, the champs.
Ferrari, hungry for a title.
Mercedes, plotting their comeback.
And Aston Martin, the underdog with the dream team.
Ready to shake things up.
What a season it could be.
A golden
Gathering
age.
data quickly.
The cars are faster,
speedily.
competition is fierce.
The
It's very
storylines
important for us to get the
captivating.
data
With this
quickly
new
to our
chapter in the
fingertips
Aston
on the
Martin
pit
story,
wall, processing the right way,
anticipation
that
is
insight to
We've
help
covered a lot of ground.
by making the data
Aston
intuitive,
Martin's
feeding
moves
that
have sent
information to our
shockwaves
performance
through
and be a stronger team.
Only
in a way
time will
that-
tell if it pays
that
off.
no one else can. Speed of development is really where
Analyzing
the name of the game is.
strategies,
The sooner the
dissecting the
car,
races.
the quicker we go.
Celebrating the triumphs.
That's what makes this sport so great.
It really is. The technology, the human skill, the pursuit of excellence
As the 2025 season unfolds,
will be here.
to guide you through it all.
Absolutely. The drama, the key decisions, the insights you need.
To appreciate this amazing sport.
Formula One at its best.
So keep those engines revving.
We'll catch you on the next deep dive.
See you then.